So, topic today, how to overcome those people who may be judging you. Is that something that you're concerned about? Well, today we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some statistics. I know it sounds boring, but I promise you it's not. And we're going to talk about some more emotional reasons around feeling judged and all that goes with that. So, stick around. Well, first things first. A few things about judgment. The dictionary defines it as an idea, a thought, a decision that someone has made after considerable thought. So here's something radical I'm going to suggest to you. Most of your inner circle, your family, your friends that are on that inner circle, they're not really or actually judging you. They are genuinely concerned for you, but they don't know how to express it in a way that comes across as concern. They cite all these things that they've heard in the media that can go wrong, and it sounds like they're judging you, right? What can you do to combat that? Well, factual information, it's the best way forward with those people in your inner circle. Let's chat about the actual facts about bariatric surgery. So these stats that I've accumulated here are from the American Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery website, and the most recent data that I could get was from 2018. I'll put a link to that site probably in the description below, and you'll be able to click on that, and you can go look at at the stats on your own, because there was a lot more information there that I'm going to give you here today. But I wanted to give you the basics. So first off, there are approximately 24 million people that are classified as morbidly obese. That's a lot of people, right? In 2018, approximately 252,000 morbidly obese people chose to have bariatric surgery of one sort or the other. So how many chose sleeve surgery? Well, 61% chose sleeve surgery, and another 17% chose Roux-en-Y, or what some people refer to as gastric bypass. The sleeve surgery is obviously the most concentrated now. It has become the most popular form of surgery because it kind of makes sense. They make your stomach smaller. Duh. Let's talk about what the results are from those surgeries, okay? Surgery results. This is going to be the incredible information that you're going to present to your friends and your family. There is a significant amount of weight loss that happens for bariatric surgery patients. Somewhere between 50 and 77% of their excess weight comes off as a direct result of bariatric surgery, usually in the first year. Okay, typically, and those percentages can kind of vary depending on the individual, but somewhere between 50 and 77% of their excess weight will come off. That's a lot of weight, especially for someone who's morbidly obese. It prevents, it improves, or it resolves over 40 different obesity-related diseases or conditions, if you will. 40. Let me say it again. It prevents, improves, or resolves over 40 different obesity-related diseases or conditions. 40 of them. That's pretty significant, I think. And I bet most of your friends and your family do not know either one of those statistics. Am I right or am I right? You're always going to have that friend that says, yeah, but people die on the table. About 0.1% of the time. Do you know what the percentage of increase to premature death if you remain obese? Let me restructure that sentence. That didn't sound very good. If you remain obese, your likelihood of premature death is increased by 50 to 100%. One more time. If you remain obese, your likelihood of premature death is increased by 50 to 100%. Your likelihood of premature death due to having bariatric surgery, i.e. dying on the table, 0.1%. I bet most of your friends don't know that stat. The percentage of major complications, all my friends that had that surgery, they're constantly in and out of the hospital because this didn't work right and that doesn't work right. They all have GERD, they've all got these problems. Okay. Major complications, because I'm not trying to tell you there are no complications resulting from bariatric surgery. There are. And we'll discuss those in other videos because this isn't a perfect solution. It is a solution. And it's one of many, right? So the major complications that happen is approximately 4% of the cases. 4% of 252,000 people had some major complication that came up. Meanwhile, most of those major complications have typically some kind of resolution that they have for it. With that said, let's dive into some more of the emotional reasons or emotional ways to overcome the judgment of others related to bariatric surgery. So there are those people in your life. Typically, they're going to be the people more in the outer circles of your acquaintances more than your friends and your family. Some friends will still judge you as well, and you get to decide which one of those are actually truly judging you and which one of those are expressing concern. And I would suggest ask them, are you really concerned or are you just judging me? Put it back on them. They don't have a right to judge you, quite frankly. First, they're already judging you because you're obese. Can we be honest here? They're all judging you because you're obese. I know, I've been there. I've been followed around stores because it's assumed if you're obese, you're gonna steal something. I've not gotten jobs because of my obesity. I've been kept from being promoted because of my obesity. Yeah, that does happen. And I know that there's a lot of skinny people out there saying, oh no, that doesn't count. Now, come on, watch the media. Being thin is in our culture. And if you don't meet the right size of what the media and what our culture deems as appropriate, you're obese and they're judging you, period, right? Again, I'm not putting that on your family and friends, and I think that you should reframe that in your own mind as well and talk to them about it. Are you judging me or are you concerned about me? Because if you're concerned about me, let's talk about it and talk about those statistics I talked about earlier. If you're judging me, that's a different measure. You know, let's talk about that. When was the last time that you battled over 100 pounds of weight? Because the likelihood is these are your skinny friends and your skinny relatives who've never really battled obesity. They don't know what your day is like day in and day out. They've been on this diet and that diet, and they're sure if you just follow their diet where they lost 10 pounds because they thought they were overweight at 10 pounds, you'll lose the weight. And what they don't know is you've already tried that diet and 17 others probably. And you haven't been able to lose the 100 pounds that you need to lose because our body is getting to this set. And we'll talk about some of that stuff in future videos. But for right now, they don't understand your struggle. They really don't. So if they're judging you, well, that's on them. It's not on you. It's on them. Let them judge. Who cares? Secondly, you must know your why. For me, I seriously considered the surgery after an annual ladies' primitive kayak trip. That was a mouthful. So every year I go on a kayaking trip with my friends. So let me tell you a little bit about this one year that changed my mind about bariatric surgery. So I've been doing this kayaking trip. It's a primitive kayaking trip with my friends, with my besties. And my weight never really held me back. But this particular year, we were on our way back out from the primitive camping. So we'd kayaked our way out, we'd camped overnight. Now we're kayaking back out and then hiking our way back out, you know, carrying kayaks. And I'm sweating profusely, I'm feeling nauseated, I'm feeling like I might pass out, or worse, my heart was pounding like crazy and I thought I might have a heart attack on the trail with 3 of my besties who are now stuck in the middle of the woods with a woman on the ground with a heart attack. Now, I made it out okay. And I'm telling you, the only thing on my mind was I'm never going to be able to do this trip again because I'm obese. I can't do this trip anymore. That was my tipping point. That was when I decided I'm going to go to a bariatric orientation meeting and see what it's about there. And I'm going to do my research to understand bariatric surgery. Because I'd had a friend go through the bariatric surgery and she'd had great success with it. And she kept telling me, yeah, this is great, this is great. But I never wanted to go through with such a drastic measure. I'm going to lose this weight by going on this diet. And I'm going to lose this weight by exercising 400 hours a week. I'm going to do this, right? I think we all experience that. So that was what changed my mind. My why was that I wanted to live again. I wanted to continue living. And I think I told you that at the first bariatric meeting in one of my other videos, in that video, I tell you about a man that I met there, whom when he started this process, he was in a wheelchair and on oxygen. During our encounter, and when I asked him about how he was feeling, he literally jumped up and down like Tigger. I wanted that. I wanted that energy level back. I wanted to feel that good again. And that was what changed my mind. And I didn't care what other people thought about my decision. I wanted to live a full life. I didn't want to give up my trips with my besties. I didn't want to give up being able to play with my grandchildren someday. I didn't want to give up a trip to Italy because I can't fit on the airplane chair. I didn't want to give up all of these things that I was looking forward to in my life as I grew older. I was 50 years old and I wanted to live a full life. And if one of your friends who's judging you doesn't understand that, then they're not a very good friend. In my estimation, you get to decide. And you know, my mantra here is always going to be, you make this decision, because at the end of the day, you're not allowed to point at somebody else. You made me do this. You convinced me to do this. No. You've done your research. You've figured it out. You've decided what you wanted to do. I am very thrilled with my decision, which is why I'm here. And I want to make this process one that we shout to the rooftops, that we tell everyone about who's obese, who struggles with the emotional and the weight and the not living their best life, and they're sitting on their couch watching television episodes, wishing they could go to Italy, wishing they could do this, wishing they could have more in their life. That's why I do this. I want you to be proud if you have this done. That when you're sitting at a restaurant and you eat 7 bites and they go, oh, you didn't eat very much. That you're like, yeah, I had bariatric surgery, so no, I don't eat that much. Our culture judges people for being obese. I think that's wrong. They shouldn't do that either, right? And if you choose to remain in that pathway, and for all of those of you who are obese and you are proud of it, you be proud of it, girl or guy. I'm good with that too. But if it's holding you back from leading your best life, look into it. Find out the information, weigh out those pros and cons, and decide for yourself what you want to do, and then be proud of whatever choice you make. Because I'm proud of the choice I made, and I won't let anybody else's judgment tear me down. And I hope you'll do the same. So if you're interested in more information about bariatric surgery, keep watching my videos, subscribe, like, hit the bell notification, and we'll be chatting about it in future videos, okay? See you when I see you.